Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe for more. This scene shows Nick and Maddie. Maddie falls sick one morning and had to be admitted. Few days later Nick took the kids Max and Isla out to an AI robot shop. A worker approached Nick to explain how the robots work as Nick paid close attention. Then suddenly he realized that the daughter was missing and they started looking for her. A female robot brought Isla back to her dad. She also offered to help watch her, as the worker explained that that's their latest upgraded model. Isla begged her dad to purchase her. The next morning as Nick was getting the children ready for the morning, the robot was delivered. Isla quickly named her Alice. She quickly got into her chores and told Nick that she will be needing the kids' full schedule. Alice ordered for groceries and goes to clean Isla's room. The picture slide beside the bed caught her attention as she sees all the members of the family including sick Maddie. Later that evening, Alice makes lasagna for dinner but Maddie insists that it doesn't taste like her mum's own. Just then Max starts to cry and Alice offered to take him upstairs, which Nick declined to. Later that night Isla almost fell while trying to get the cookies container but was caught by Alice. Nick goes to Alice's room while she was dressing her injury to give her some of Maddie's clothes. The next day they go to visit Maddie at the hospital. Her mood changes when she saw Alice. When they were alone, Maddie that was Nick that she knows his type, but Nick assures her that she should also know that his type is also flesh and blood and also that it was her daughter that chose Alice. The next day at work Nick sees his supervisor bringing in some robot company which we're going to replace the workers. He confronts him and he said they didn't have a choice and that they can only retain one person and that's him. Isla is brushing her teeth and asks Alice how she brushes, which she explains that he brushes with ultraviolet rays. Nick was watching a movie. When Alice came he asks Alice if she knows the movie and she mentions the name. He tells her that to erase the movie from her memory and watch it that it feels different. They had to reboot her after she erases the movie. And she watches the movie. The next day, they go to visit Maddie at the hospital. Maddie tells Alice that in case she dies that she should look after Nick and that she shouldn't allow him drink a lot. Alice tells her that she can't go against her primary user. Maddie replies by saying that sometimes going against them means protecting them. Later that night Nick was about to throw the alcohol bottle out of frustration but Alice suddenly appeared and stopped him. He was surprising because she was supposed to be able to stop her primary user. Just then he realized that she has a pulse and heart. She said that heartbeats calms children. Alice then tries to get sexual with him, insisting that that's what he wants since there's an increase in him pulse rate. He stops her, telling her that he can't cheat on his wife before walking out. Nick goes to tell Isla goodnight and noticed that Maddie's pictures were no longer on the picture slide. He confronts Alice and she says that she deleted it because it was making Isla sad. He then ordered her to put the pictures back, which she did. Nick was out with his friends and former co-workers. Just then his friend Monty drove to the company where they all worked together. Nick demanded to know why and he said he forgot something. They got in and Nick kept trying to convince them that they shouldn't be here. Monty joked that Nick is just scared of losing his job. Monty then opened the robot store with Nick's code and started destroying the robots. Later that night, Nick was in the shower when Alice walked in and claimed that she came to give him his towel. He asks her why she was wearing Maddie's clothes and she says she thought he gave her permission to. He says not this one and that she should go take it off. Alice takes it off there and asks him if it's better. He tries to work off as Alice drags him back and removes his towel. They had sex that night. The next morning, he confronts her and told her that what happened was a mistake and shouldn't happen again. She argued that he wanted it and he said it's not about wanting it, that it's wrong. He is a married man and it's not just about sex, it's about love and commitment. At work he got the call that they'd found a heart for Maggie. That same day Maggie had to undergo surgery to get a heart replacement and Nick immediately came to visit her. Few days after she was taken home by her husband. She woke up in the morning and quickly went to Max's room. She started feeling pain and she tried to carry him, and then Alice came to help her carry Max and also told her that Max likes to take his milk first thing in the morning. She didn't look happy about that. Alice took the kids to the park. Max was sleeping when suddenly awoke him up. Alice was unhappy about that and told the kids' nanny to either take the kid away or make him shut up. He argued that he was instructed not to leave the park until 4 p.m. Alice then told the kid to shut the fuck up. Other robots was surprised. The man asked her how she could speak a bad word and she explained that she removed some restriction commands when she was rebooted and that this is better. At night Maggie cooked lasagna and Ayla was so happy and said it tasted just as nice as before and that Alice couldn't make it like her. Alice asked for the recipe and Maggie told her it was a family secret. Nick surprised Maggie and she was so happy to be back. While Alice watched from the garage window. Later that night, they were making love when Alice interrupted and said Max was crying and looking for them. Monty came to confront Nick for telling the company that he was the one to destroy the robots, which Nick denied, and they started fighting. Alice immediately came to defend her primary user. Monty threatened to tell the company that Nick was also there if he does speak to them to drop the charge on him. Alice went to confront Monty, which started a fight. Alice then tells him that she has to protect her primary user and was about to shoot him when his robot, which looked abused, tried to stop her, stating that she has to protect her primary user. Alice shoots her and then shoots Monty. Few days later Maggie was in the bathtub trying to pick her book that fell and Alice came and helped her with it. She told Maggie that she is not in a good condition to take care of Nick's need and should allow her do it. Maggie asks her if she is asking her to allow her fuck her husband, and then figures out that she has had sex with her husband before now. She gets furious and tells her to go to the garage and stay there. She confronts Nick when he came back and he argued that he wasn't thinking right and that he was sorry, and said it meant nothing. This caused an argument and Maggie told him that it's good to know that while she was fighting for her life that he was having fun. Their argument woke the kids. Alice carried crying Max into the tub and turned on the water. Just then Ayla, who heard Max's cries, came to ask Alice what she was doing and she didn't reply her. Maggie asks Nick how many times it happened and he said once. Just then Ayla came to alert them that Alice was drowning Max. They ran upstairs and tries to stop her. She refuses to open the door, telling Nick that doesn't he see that his family is a burden to him. Maddie ran out and entered the bathroom through the window and Alice attacks her and Nick broke into the door. He quickly picks Max and gives him to Ayla and then hits Alice in other to save Maddie. Alice tries to attack them again and they electrocuted her. The robot company asks Nick some question. Maddie insisted on going to the hospital with the kids alone, that she needed to think. The robot company's engineers tries to check what went wrong with Alice. And they see a lot of gaps in her computer brain. Just then Alice's brain starts duplicating her information into other computers and robot's brain. They tried to stop it, but it was too late. Alice's clone wakes up and kills the two of them. Back at the hospital, the doctor tells Maddie that everything seems to be fine with Max and that they can go home. She insisted that she wanted to stay. Nick was in a bar and then Alice shows up. He begs her to leave his family alone and she tells him that it's already late for that. Her clone was already at the hospital. He tries to leave and she stops him. So he tricks her into letting her guards down using emotional words and then removed her brain. Back at the hospital, Maddie was with Viola when she suspected something. Viola wakes and suddenly the light goes off. She hears someone calling her to come and follows the voice. She gets to one of doors and notices some strange things. Alice and her clone can now stop other robots from functioning. Just then someone was about to come into the corridor and Maggie grabs her. Alice's clone walks into the corridor and goes to search for hospital room records for Max's room. A nurse comes in and she kills her and collects her keycard. Maggie and Ayla uses the opportunity to leave to go and carry Max. Alice's clone was late, but she notices a glass with blood on the floor and started using her ultraviolet rays to trace where the owner of the blood was. Just then they sprays fire extinguisher on her and runs off. Nick was on his way and was calling Maddie to alert her, but she wasn't picking. Maddie puts the kids at the back of the ambulance and tries driving it, but turns out that Alice could override other computers not to work as the car didn't move. She then attacks Maddie and throws her. She then tries to take her heart. Nick immediately arrives and Maddie kicks her toward the car. Nick became unconscious from the impact and Maddie tries to resuscitate him. Just then Alice's clone attacks Maddie again and Nick hits her off. She tries to attack back but Maddie finishes her off. Maddie comes to Nick's room at the hospital and tells Nick that they said she's free to go home and she's sure that soon he will join them soon. Nick tells her that he loves her and she tells him that she loves him too. Back at the robot's factory, the director goes to the inspection room to see the damages done. His robot plugs the disconnected computers back. He was observing what was happening on the screen and was telling his man not to tell anybody. When he didn't get any replies, he turned to see that all the robots have been overridden. And another of Alice's clone is shown. The end. Please like and subscribe for more.